what do most people get wrong about the metrics layer? And I think that the metrics layer is this like evolving term, we're still figuring it out, et cetera. But if you look historically at the companies that have built this and have derived, a ton of value out of it, I think, the one that I'm most familiar with is Airbnb's, right, metrics repo, which became Minerva, which they've kind of talked quite a bit about. But there are other examples, like LinkedIn has one called Unified Metrics Platform. Uber has Umetrics. Like, these are companies that had a bunch of resources, so they went and built something. And if you look across those, like, what did the ones do that were really successful, and what did the ones do that kind of, flopped and didn't get much internal adoption? The kind of consistent pattern of what the really successful ones did is they were built on top of the nice, like, normalized data sets, not necessarily Kimball. Like, you can use any data modeling approach. You can have data vault, like, et cetera. There are tons of different approaches here that you could use. And companies choose different ones, and they have like raw messy data. But the consistent thing was that they basically chose as inputs these normalized data sets. They allowed you to go and define the relations between these data sets. And then they flattened the DAG and basically said, let's programmatically build data marts. And that's like effectively what Minerva was for the first, it's what metrics repo was for the first 3 years. It's what Minerva was for the first 3 years. Like, that is the tool that Airbnb got a ton of value out of. It wasn't until 2020 that Airbnb built this thing called Inquiry, which was the API. So it's a Python API on top of this interface that allowed you to consume these metrics and other tools. And so I think that people overemphasize the value of the connections to the downstream tools and underemphasize the like data engineering improvements that you get from not having these very, very large bloated DAGs with tons and tons of logic to manage across many layers of transformation.